morning, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Subplot, brought to you by Geek Tavern. It is I, Mike, and I'm joined with Aaron, as always.
Ooh, Geek Tavern's our new sponsor? And not Raid Shadow Legends?
Raid Shadow Legends! I honestly love those commercials. I mean, I skip right after they say that.
Oh, of course.
But I love hearing it.
Yeah.
Like
It's a staple now. Like, if it didn't show up, I'd be worried.
Yeah. So, we watched a couple Godzilla movies because there's really not any news. I don't know if you want to.
Oh yeah, like the only
we can mention that
the only little bit of news is that Bandai confirmed that Godzilla Singular Point will have some kind of toy line. Nobody knows if it's going to be vinyls, if it's going to be part of Tamashii Nations, SH Monster Arts. But they confirmed that it is going to be part of the 2021 toy lineup. So we'll see. Fingers crossed for some new vinyls of the new character incarnations. I mean, I don't have shelf space, but I'm buying them either way.
So just on air discussion, I guess. Those ones that are, what are they, like $13? I have a couple of them. The second one in from.
Oh yeah, the Bandai America vinyls.
Okay. Like, why are the second run of those so shitty?
Oh, because they're not Bandai anymore.
Oh, okay.
Playmates is who is making those.
Oh,
that's why
they're so
shitty.
bad. That's why I haven't bought any.
They're not even vinyl. Like they're just hard plastic.
Yeah.
And nobody wants them. People buy them just to custom them or make them look better.
Yeah.
And some of the Playmates ones, it's weird because some places you can find them that they just have leftover vinyls that they repackaged. So like people have gotten King Ghidorah where it's just regular King Ghidorah or Mechagodzilla, and they're the vinyls like the ones you and I have.
Yeah. But
most of them are just hard plastic remolds. And in fact, the Shin Godzilla, which is the worst looking of all... No, I'm sorry. Space Godzilla is the worst looking of them.
I know. We have that one.
Yeah, Shin Godzilla is the second worst, but that is actually a mold of the NECA Shin Godzilla.
Oh, okay.
Like, if you look closely at it, it's all exactly, straight... Like, it's like they bought a Shin Godzilla, molded it, and then just made figures out of it. Which I'm sure that's exactly what they did.
Yeah. I've never seen that one at Walmart.
People have bought it and then they've reconfigured it and cut the head off and then they resculpt parts of it because the way that it looks is it's hunched over.
Yeah.
So they built it so that the neck stands straight up like Shin does. And I've seen somebody do it before and it looked really cool by the time they were done with it.
Yeah.
But I mean that's all the Playmates. The Playmates toys are literally for 3-year-olds that you want to introduce to Godzilla.
I mean, yeah, it makes sense.
You don't buy the well, it sucks though because Bandai America had some really good molds that they used, and you could get them at a really decent price. And then Playmates was just I don't want to sound like that guy, but you kind of alienate the adult collectors who want to just buy the stuff, and they're just hey, these are just shitty, they're almost like knockoffs.
Yeah,
that you just are hey, my nephew likes Godzilla, I'm gonna get him Gigan, this terrible looking Gigan, and he can just beat the hell out of it or whatever,
I know now he's just a friend. He was essentially my brother-in-law for lack of better terms, but he got his stepdaughter. She loves Godzilla, which I actually sent her a picture of your collection.
Oh yeah.
And she's like, oh my god. But they got her that whole line of the Bandai or whatever they were.
Yeah, when Bandai had it, they were really good. But now that it's Playmates, it's just kind of...
When the new line came out, I sent him a picture of it. And I was like, do you need any of these? And he's like, no, they're garbage. I'm like, okay.
Now, the... what is it? The Godzilla vs. Kong ones aren't bad, actually.
No,
the Godzilla vs. Kong ones, especially Kong. I really like the Kong figure a lot.
Yeah.
And even like the Playmates, like here's one good thing Playmates did. Is it Lanyard or Lannard? Somebody can correct me in the comments.
Yeah, I have no idea.
They made the Kong Skull Island toys.
Okay.
Their Kong sucked.
Really?
It was like as tall as your tower.
Oh, yeah.
And it had an awful looking.
Do we still have it up there?
No.
Okay.
That was from like 2017.
Okay.
But it had an awful looking.
Because we have some Skull Island Kongs.
Yes. And that's what I was going to say, because Playmates actually made a good Kong Skull Island sculpt.
I never really looked at it because I still have yet to see that movie.
That was the first. That was the first one that I bought because I was like, "This is actually a good sculpt of this figure." I was like, "So I do want that."
Yeah.
But everything else is just kind of.
Yeah.
But
I keep looking, and it, like you said, it's the worst. But like, Space Godzilla in itself looks cool as hell anyway.
Yeah.
But like, I always look at that figure and I'm like,
Yeah.
I want to buy it, but at the same time, like, it just looks bad.
I really like. They've been using the same sculpt for Space Godzilla for decades, and I just kind of want, like, I know they do it on every occasion, but I just want them to do like a different sculpt of Space Godzilla.
Yeah.
Make him look a little better, because they always have him with those like weird arms, and like his torso just doesn't look. It doesn't look like how he looks in the movies. I mean, it does.
I mean, I haven't even seen that movie. I just know, you know.
We'll get there.
I know we'll get there, but
but Space Godzilla, like he looks a lot cooler in the movies, and there are other figures of him that look really cool. But I just want them to like redo a sculpt of him, and re-release it so that it's a cooler looking one. I mean, I don't know if he's popular enough that people are going to want to buy it, but hell, I'll buy one.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Space Godzilla, and it has nothing to do with the movie. I just have always liked the look of Space Godzilla. He just looks cool, and he's really cool in the video games too.
We gotta get on the video game side of things. I've never really played. The only one I ever played video game wise was that PS4.
The one where it's...
And it's
like,
not good.
No, it's like the destruction
It's
mode.
so slow.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really the only one I've ever played. But...
Yeah, it's... I mean, it's... I've heard that the graphics are really good on
they're
it
great.
and everything,
Yeah.
but other than that, everybody's just kind of like...
But battling another monster's like...
Yeah, that was the biggest thing where people were like, it's not like the tournament fighters of old where they were actually really fun to play. Yeah. So, I mean...
And all those games are really, really expensive.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, especially like if you didn't have them when they came out, you're kind of SOL if you're going to try to...
Well, I shouldn't say it on podcast. Never mind. So, we're here to talk about... I'm going to butcher this again. Ebirah?
Ebirah.
Horror of the Deep.
Or otherwise known as Godzilla vs. Endless Shrimp. Just kidding, it's Godzilla vs. the Sea Monster.
Yeah.
Which, I have fond memories of this movie.
Yeah?
Yes.
I had never even, like... I mean, just in my adventures of kind of... I guess you call it looking ahead. Like, I've just seen some stuff from, like, screen grabs and stuff. I was like, oh, there's a big lobster guy. So, yeah, I've obviously never seen this movie.
This was one of my favorites when I was a little kid to watch in the summer. Because it was on a tropical island.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of battles in the water and all that. So, like, at the beach or the pool, I would have, like, Godzilla, and then I can't remember where I got it, like at Walmart or something. Remember when Walmart used to have, like, all those, like, they were kind of vinyl. I think Imperial made them. But they made, like, dinosaurs.
Okay.
And other animals. There was, like, a lobster one. And I had a lobster that I pretend was Ebirah, and I had him fight, like, the Godzilla and everything.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, I have fond memories of this movie. And then when I watched the DVD, that was all just...
Taken away.
Completely taken away. Because I have the DVD from Sony and TriStar that came out like in 2004 or 5. I think it was 05 maybe. that they were re-released on DVD and now they're out of print. You can't get them.
Yeah.
Well, I had never watched Godzilla versus the Sea Monster. I had it. It had been opened, but I never actually like popped it in the DVD player until now. So I watched that, and immediately I'm like, I hadn't watched Godzilla versus the Sea Monster in years, like probably 15 years maybe. And immediately I can hear the voices in my head of like what's gonna play.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't play, and I was like, oh, this dub is awful. So I was like, I missed the VHS dub already.
Yeah. Wow.
So that was kind of ruined for me.
I would have took a terrible dub because, you know, again.
Well, and like I probably should have just watched it subbed instead of ruining it for me with the awful dub. But I was like, I was working on something else, so I was like, I kind of just want to have it dubbed so I can. But I'm like, I can't get over the terrible voices. And then, I mean, overall, this movie is still fun and enjoyable. Mm-hmm. But I probably will not watch the DVD dub ever again.
Yeah,
because it was just bad.
Just watch it sub.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to do
that. We'll get into the plot in a second. I was reading here that this was actually supposed to feature King Kong, but was replaced by Godzilla.
Yes, which actually the following year after this movie came out, Toho produced a King Kong movie called King Kong Escapes, in which he fights Mechanicong, the creation of Doctor Who. Not that Doctor Who. But maybe someday down the road we'll talk about that one.
Yeah. That sounds interesting, actually.
But it's one of my favorites. It's one of my favorite Toho-produced monster movies. But yes, it was supposed to feature King Kong fighting Ebirah because it takes place on an island. And actually, you can see a lot of nods to Kong. Like, you can tell that Godzilla was supposed to be Kong, especially with his relationship with Kumi Mizuno's character Dio. Like Godzilla, like, okay, so this is part of like a Mandela effect that Cinemassacre said that he thought he remembered Godzilla picking Dio up, but he doesn't actually do that, which I remember that too. And I was like, wait a minute, like, and I'm watching this and I'm like, he doesn't? I was like, I thought he did. And then, but like, it's like that relationship, like Godzilla being very like inquisitive about like her and all that, but Godzilla like lives on this island, so he's kind of like King Kong in a way.
Yeah, he's they just find him like laying
sleeping.
under rubble, like
he's just
well,
like
I guess it wasn't
cave,
under
like just sleeping.
Yeah,
but it's almost like Godzilla lives on the island, which is Kong. Kong lives on the island and all that. So, but I mean, there was a lot of stuff with that. And then the other thing was Godzilla fighting the planes, which is very reminiscent of Kong fighting the planes.
That's actually one of my favorite shots, actually. Like,
and he was protecting Dio. Like, he was trying to make sure she was okay. But, like, I mean, there was a lot of stuff that it was supposed to be Kong, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me of something that was very comical to me, is when Godzilla first starts fighting the planes and they're flying in. I swear to God, the song Tequila was playing while Godzilla was fighting those planes.
Yeah.
Like, and I did not remember that. In fact, I'm pretty sure, like, on the VHS dub, that part of the music was cut out because it was way too, like, hokey. And I actually tweeted out while I was watching the movie, I was like, my favorite part of Godzilla versus the Sea Monster is when Godzilla fights the Red Bamboos Air Force to the song Tequila. And I'm just like sitting there like, I do not remember this. I was like, I remember this scene being more like epic because he like smashes the planes with his tail. Like they're flying around, he just whips one.
And one flies in, he just tail whips it.
Yeah.
Which why tail whip in Pokemon games is just a stat, destroyer.
Oh, yeah.
Like, why does it not hurt?
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, that's totally different.
But yeah, I mean, like, overall, this movie's fun.
I enjoyed this one.
Yeah.
We can... I'll read this whole thing.
Akihiko Hirata plays the leader. Well, he's like a commander of the... or he's Captain Ryu of the Red Bamboo. And he wears an eye patch. This is the second Godzilla movie where he wears an eye patch because he played Dr. Serizawa.
Okay.
So, like, that was kind of like a little nod to that character.
Yeah.
Because he was playing another character, and they're like, well, let's give him an eye patch.
It's really funny, like, these people can keep showing up, and, like, I can't tell. Like,
oh, like...
It's terrible to say, but...
For me, watching it, like, Akira Takarada, I can pick him out of a crowd in these movies. I mean... there are so many, because like a lot of the cast were like on retainer at Toho. Like that was the only studio that they did movies for.
Oh, okay.
So they just recycled their actors for the movies. So like Akira Takarada, I think, has the most credits to his name when it comes to Godzilla movies. Like he is in almost all of them. Like, and you can go through and watch it and be like, yep, there he is. There he is. There he is. There he is. You know, and just pick him up. And he was actually, he has a deleted scene that I don't even know if it was ever shown, but he has a deleted scene in the 2014 Godzilla movie.
Yeah, I think.
And he also plays Ogata in the first Godzilla.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he has, Godzilla. I don't think he was in Godzilla Raids again.
No, it doesn't say.
But he was in Mothra vs. Godzilla, Invasion of the Astro Monster, Godzilla vs. the Sea Monster, King Kong Escapes, Latitude Zero, which is another, that's another Toho movie. Godzilla vs. Mothra, Godzilla Final Wars. I mean, he's in a ton of them. And Godzilla 2014. Deleted scene. Yeah. But I mean, he is just.
That's funny.
And I know the reason why he's
Does that deleted scene exist on, like, the Blu-ray?
No.
Oh, okay.
I actually don't know if it was ever, like, released. Like, I don't know if that scene was just deleted from history, maybe, or
well, that
what.
sucks.
But, I mean, it's a cool scene. He's talking to Aaron Taylor Johnson at the Honolulu airport. So I was like, wow.
As like a previous character, or
no? It was just a cameo.
Okay, just a cameo.
It was a cameo, and I was like, why was that deleted?
Yeah.
I'm like, that is the one. Like, that's the one thing that I wanted to see was like, okay, are they gonna take an original Toho actor from the first movie, put them in? That way, fans are like, I see you. And then they deleted it, and I was like, why would you do that? I was like, I just wanted to see that.
It makes way too much sense, because, like, I mean, maybe leading up to it, I'm sure they would have felt that, you know, this is the actual rebirth in America.
Yeah, that character.
You know, or the re-coming of Godzilla, whatever, however you want to word it. But, like, that would have just brought it full circle.
That's what I mean. Why delete?
And if you didn't like that scene, like, put him in some other scene.
Yeah, why delete a scene with a very well-known actor from these movies to have a cameo and you just delete it? Like, I mean, I'm sure they had their reasons.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, at least show it to us.
Put it on. Yeah.
There's a picture. There's an image from that deleted scene of him talking to Aaron Taylor Johnson. Like, he's behind the desk and he's talking to him. But that's all there is. And I'm like, why? I want to see the movie. I want to see it in the movie. But anyway, do you want to talk about the plot a little bit?
Yeah. I can. I think this probably wraps it up pretty good. So I'll try to get through most of this without completely butchering it. After Yada is lost at sea, his brother. Rota?
Yeah.
Steals a yacht and his two friends and a bank robber.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about Rota's idiotic idea to just, oh, hey, I need a boat.
Yeah.
And then they show up on the boat. They literally show up on a boat that isn't theirs.
Yeah.
These guys just went down to the dock and they're just like, we'll show them a boat. And they get on the boat. They are, like, rifling through this guy's stuff, whoever this boat belongs to. And then Akira Takarada's character, Yoshimura, has a toy gun.
Yeah.
That he's like, hey, what the hell are you doing on my boat? And they're all like, oh, they're like, we're sorry. And he's like, yeah, whatever. He's like, you can stay here for tonight, but in the morning you go. So they're like, okay, thanks. And then they wake up and they're on the sea because Rota decided it would be a good idea to start driving the boat to go look for his brother in the South Seas. And I'm like, what madman just decided I'm going to take this guy's boat and we're going out to the South Seas? And he's like, oh, it's a gift from the gods. And it's like, you're insane. Like, I get it. Like, you know, we find out later that Yatta is alive.
Yeah.
And he's been on Infant Island, which looks very different from what it looked like in the last 3 movies.
Yeah.
But we find out that he is alive. But, I mean, what nutcase just hops on a boat and decides he's going to set sail without telling anybody?
Yeah.
We don't know if these guys had jobs that they had to get back to or something like that. You know, he just takes the boat and he's like, well, I'm going to go do this. But, and then they end up the boat gets destroyed in a storm that they weren't anticipating. And in the storm, they see the giant claw of Ebirah.
Well, I mean, the claw itself, I mean, Ebirah just...
Oh, yeah.
Like, grabs
flips the
boat in the air.
And then they all have to... Well, they wash ashore, and then they wake up on the island.
Yeah.
And then they find...
That's really where I started to get really invested.
Yeah, and then they... so they find out... They find that there's a boat coming... After exploring the island for a little bit, there's a boat coming into the shore.
Right.
So they go down to get rescued, and there's already, like, a dock there.
I was going to say, there's a full-on dock.
And they're like, this is sketchy. So they're like, maybe let's hold on a second. So then they start bringing in these barrels of stuff, and the slaves come out to bring the barrels in to go make this concoction of this liquid gas that they spray from the boat to keep Ebirah away from their boat.
See, I was totally confused on the...
Yeah, there's like something in the fruit on the island that is like a pheromone that'll keep Ebirah away. So they use that to make this concoction that they spray from the boat to keep Ebirah like at bay and it won't attack them or whatever. And 2 of the slave laborers start running. Well, 5 of them start running away. 3 of them get shot and killed, and 2 of them make it out on a boat. And they go out there, and like as soon as they are out there, Ebirah rises up and flips their boat, destroys it, and then he literally skewers them on his... Like, he has 2 claws. There's a big fat claw, and there's a skinny skewering claw.
Yeah.
And Ebirah, like, with pinpoint accuracy, like, skewers these 2 dudes swimming in the water, and then...
Just eats them.
Yeah, eats them and just goes back under.
Yep.
And then,
better day at the office.
Yeah, and then, like, because they're shooting at them, and then the captain's like, he's like, never mind. He's like, let's just go back. And he, like, has this evil smile on his face, and he's like, because he knows what's coming.
Yeah.
And then he tells all the other people, all the other slave laborers, he's like, you want to run away? That's what you have to look forward to.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, okay. So then Dio runs away. So she ends up with our protagonist for pretty much the remainder of the movie.
Yeah, yeah.
And they infiltrate the base to see like what's going on, what are they making, and everything. And they find out that it's a heavy water factory, which is nuclear. The whole island's like a nuclear reactor. Mm-hmm. They're creating or manufacturing like plutonium and all that for nuclear weapons. So
don't tell Doc Brown.
Yeah, don't tell. Yeah. He'll be at that island trying to screw them out of something for plutonium. So they're making all the radioactive materials, and they're using the slave laborers that they took from Infant Island. Yeah, that
Yeah.
Yeah, they were.
Everybody
taken
was from
Infinite
there.
Island.
Yeah.
So it's like they took them from Infinite Island, brought them to another island, and they're making them make this concoction to keep.
They must have saw Mothra and was like, "Yeah, we can't deal with that."
Yeah, we can't do that on this island. And Mothra's asleep the entire movie. And Mothra is, most of the time, a matte painting the entire movie.
I want to talk about that for a couple minutes. Or just a minute. So, the HBO Max, like the little summary, which is always very vague anyway. But it says, it's like, Godzilla must get the help of his old nemesis, Mothra. And I get to the end of the movie, I'm like, Mothra didn't do a damn thing.
Mothra doesn't show up until, like, literally the last 5 minutes. Mothra doesn't wake up until the last 5 minutes of the movie.
Literally.
Like,
we see Mothra for a good part of the movie when they're singing to Mothra.
Yeah.
But, like, bitch doesn't wake up.
Well, and, like, it makes me wonder, partially because, like, if you looked at, I don't know if Mothra maybe had something more to do in the movie, and they didn't do it because the puppet was kind of falling apart, maybe. Because if you look closely at a couple of the scenes, the Godzilla 65 suit that they were using, especially like the composite shot of them running out of the cave and Godzilla's walking like around the mountain, you can see parts of the latex starting to come off of the suit. And then there's one part at the very end when they're yelling to Godzilla to jump off the island before it explodes, in the nuclear explosion. And if you look closely in the neck, so in all the suits, there were holes poked in the neck so the actor could see out. If you are looking close enough, there is a almost gaping hole in the neck of the suit. Man. And you can see Haruo Nakajima's either nose or part of his forehead is like touching it because it like moves. Oh. So you can almost like you can see the skin tone in the hole.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I saw. I didn't know it was skin. Yeah. But I thought it was like a wound that like.
No, yeah, that was actually just like his forehead or part of his nose, like touching.
Because that's the color it was
skin. And it's like, I mean, these suits don't last long. Yeah, I mean, they last like a couple years, and then
I've kind of been surprised that Godzilla has stayed looking the same for the last couple. I feel.
Yeah. Actually, the suit for Mothra versus Godzilla was used in Ghidorah the Three-Head Monster, but it was modified slightly. But it was the same suit. In Invasion of Astro Monster, they made a brand new suit, and which they used for this movie too. And then after that, they kind of, or actually no, I'm sorry, they used it for 2 shots of Son of Godzilla. The beginning, or not the beginning. It's when Godzilla comes up out of the ocean and he walks onto the island. That's that suit. Okay. But then you never see it again because that suit was just trashed after that. But it made me wonder if Mothra maybe had a bigger role and they're like, hey, the puppet's falling apart. We can't afford to, make another puppet, so we're just going to have use her for like 5 minutes. And when you look at it, even in the shots of Mothra flying, it's not that puppet. It's a different one. Yeah. But like looking at Mothra in, like, when she just wakes up, that's the same puppet from Mothra versus Godzilla. But I think after sitting for a couple of years, they're like, yeah, this thing's gonna fall apart if we try to use it too much.
I had to kind of chuckle. One of the times they're saying the Mothra, one of the lyric was, Mothra, open your eyes, or whatever. I'm like, her eyes don't close.
Yeah, her eyes don't close. They just light up. Yeah. Like when she wakes up, there's like light that emits from them, which is a cool effect. I mean, it was cool.
I just had to laugh. I'm like...
Also, let's talk about continuity here with Mothra. Yeah. Is this the larva? Or is it one of the larvae? Yeah. I don't know.
Like, maybe this is the other larva.
They never say, and they're like, because they're always talking about like Mothra, and like every time someone mentions Mothra in a movie after Godzilla versus Mothra, everyone's like, Mothra? Like, you mean the Mothra? And then we see it, and we're like, Well, which is it? Is it a larva or is it an adult?
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand. But, I mean, that's one of the things that, like, bothers me about this is because Mothra is a full-grown Mothra in this.
Yeah.
But when we reach Destroy All Monsters, it's a larva again. And I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, make up your mind.
Yeah,
What is it? Is Mothra a full-grown adult or is it a larva?
Even my small knowledge of Godzilla, even with that, I know that their continuity is not their best strong suit.
No, I mean, which is fine. These movies are what they are. They're entertaining. I'm sure that when they're making them, they're just like...
You can't... you almost can't, like... And even in this synopsis, I guess you would call it, it says that... Where was it? Dio? She comes across Godzilla, who previously fought Ghidorah. So, like, they think that it's...
So it is continuity.
Yeah.
So does that mean that in the year... or the 2 years that have passed, that the Mothra larva did become an imago form? You let us know in the comments because we're clueless on this. I've been clueless on this since I was like 10. Like, I just kept watching it and I'm like, is that the same Mothra? Yeah. Like, because they talk about it like it's still in continuity.
Wonder if there's like a YouTube video out there where somebody's like explains the timeline of Mothra.
Probably. I'm gonna have to like drink like 3 glasses of whiskey before I sit down and like dive into that, because I'm gonna be sitting there going, "What? You mean to tell me that's the same one?" No, I don't think like.
I mean, that sounds like a good time.
I'm gonna have to be trash to like be like, all right, I see what you're putting.
That makes sense.
Like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, I don't know, being in that state might make me believe that a little bit more. Like, yeah, I'll buy that.
I forget where we were now, but...
Wow, we were talking about the continuity
of
Mothra and the Godzilla. But, that could be a whole other goddamn podcast.
Yeah, several episodes.
Oh, we also have another kaiju in this movie who shows up for all of 2 seconds. The giant condor.
Oh.
Who literally shows up for all of 2 seconds, and Godzilla torches him.
I don't remember.
Right after the planes? Is it right after the planes? The giant condor?
I don't remember. I don't know. There's a couple times where I checked out of this movie, I guess.
Oh, Godzilla destroys the jets and then kills the giant bird. Yeah, so it shows up after. Yeah, it was like...
I remember the planes, and I thought that was...
Yeah, he fights the planes
things,
to Tequila, and then the condor shows up. Because, like, Dio sees it and, like, screams, and then Godzilla, like, starts attacking it. They, like, bat each other around for all of 2 seconds, and then the condor flies straight towards Godzilla, like, dive bombs him. Godzilla fires the atomic breath, just ignites him, and then he drops into the ocean.
Yeah. It must have been just super quickly, because
Oh, it is. It's a real quick scene.
I had it on this screen, and I was doing stuff over here, so I probably literally looked away for, like... a minute.
I feel bad for like anyone who is working in the prop department and they're like, oh, this is a cool giant condor kaiju. Like, I hope he shows up in more movies. And then they just like,
nope, we're gonna set it on fire.
They're standing there on set watching it, and it just gets torched and dropped into the pool. And they're like, oh, okay,
well,
whatever.
That goes 10 hours of my life.
Yeah.
Or more.
And that's another thing. This is something that it's been in the other movies, but I'm not sure if I mentioned it to you. A little bit of Toho trivia. There is a giant, they call it the pool, outside the studio, in which they shoot all of the water scenes against a painted backdrop.
Yeah.
And they have either the remote control ships or it could be anything. Most of the battles, well, all the battles, are shot on this pool. It's enormous. It's like the size of a football field.
Oh wow!
And it's only like 3 feet deep, I think, like 3 or 4 feet deep.
That's why Godzilla can always walk in water.
Yes, that is why. That is exactly why. And
even in the middle of the ocean.
And I'm pretty sure all 3 suit actors nearly drowned in that pool. Yeah, because once, like, if they trip or something, once that suit goes under, they can't lift it out themselves.
Oh.
So if they go under, like immediately everybody like dives in to like
it
pull the suit
probably
out.
holds water.
Oh yeah, because once the mouth goes under, water just starts pouring in and filling the suit, and then they can't get up because that suit. Some of these suits, I think it started in '84. The suits reached up to like 210 pounds.
Wow.
That's alone, not with an actor in them.
Or water.
So when they go under, if they start taking on water, then they're fucked.
Wow.
I remember reading one about Kenpachiro Satsuma said that that he was like so pissed off one day because he nearly drowned in the suit.
Wow.
Yeah, those kudos to every suit actor who has played Godzilla because they have put their lives on the line.
This one was
Haruo Nakajima.
Yeah.
He is the original. He played Godzilla from 1954 to 1972.
You must have. You've probably said his name before because I recognize his name.
I have a photo signed by him.
Okay, maybe that's where.
I never got to meet him. But nice thing about him, he was honored at the Oscars.
Okay.
He was included in the list of actors who had passed that year, and he was included in the list, which I was like blown away by. Like I saw his name and I was like, wow! I was like, that was awesome of them to recognize him. I mean, that's awesome for the Academy to recognize a man of exceptional talent. I mean, you have to be extremely physically fit to play these roles because you are literally carrying around like a 100-pound costume. You're sweating like 6 inches of water into your bottom of your suit, and you're nearly dying of heat stroke all the time and everything. But I mean, like that was nice of them to recognize how good of an actor he was and what an impact he left on the world.
That's fairly recent. That was 2017.
2017 is when he passed. Yep.
Well, at least better late than never to discover great work.
Yeah.
But
I mean, and I mean, we're getting close to the end of his run.
Yeah.
As Godzilla, as far as the Showa series goes, we're getting close to the end. We're what on this episode we finished in 1967, so we have 5 more years of Haruo Nakajima as Godzilla in this, and then we have 3 movies finishing off the Showa series. Ebirah shows up in Final Wars again too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's
in an actually really cool sequence where the EDF has to kill Ebirah using literally like Gatling cannons.
Huh.
And they're all like superhumans, so they're like jumping all over buildings and shit and like shooting at Ebirah and all that. I mean, it's cool. It's a very cool sequence.
I didn't know Ebirah was played by somebody.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I guess it makes sense, but
yeah, with the exception of Mothra, I think almost every kaiju's played by somebody.
It just didn't look. The way it's set up doesn't look like it would be a person. Yeah. Kind of looks like, well, and we'll get to it in the next movie, like, I assume there wasn't anybody, like, in the spider that we saw. No. I thought it was kind of like that. But. Yeah.
In fact, the spider and the mantises, I think, were just, like, wire-controlled puppets.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into that.
Yeah. That's coming in a couple minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just cut to the end.
Yeah.
Godzilla, Mothra shows up. They finally wake Mothra's ass up, and
It's only when they stop singing.
Yeah, they build a net. Yeah, that's the problem. It's like white noise. If you have a fan on when you're sleeping and it shuts off because the power goes out, you wake up.
Right.
Because your brain is like, hey, something's wrong.
I wasn't sure if that was just how the movie was going, or if like that's why she woke up.
Yeah, I know, because that's what it seems like. Like they stopped singing, and Mothra's like, "Hey, like what?" Like,
yeah,
I was asleep.
When I lived with my grandpa when I was a teenager, like, and still to this day, like I got to have something on TV.
Yeah.
And he would come into like my room in the middle of the night and just shut my stuff off. as soon as he would click that TV off, boom, I'd wake up.
Yeah. I'm the same way because I sleep with a fan.
Yeah.
So as soon as the power goes out and that fan shuts off, I'm awake.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
Yeah, so... Yeah, I'm just going to put it as... She woke up because they finally shut up.
So they make a net on the other island, not Infinite Island. They make a net, and then Mothra shows up. They all get in the net. Godzilla tries to fight Mothra, and Mothra's like, nope, and just takes the net and leaves with all of them in it. In the meantime...
When they were building the net, I probably, again, it's probably something I either missed or didn't catch on to. Was it just hopeful thinking that Mothra was coming to take...
No, they knew that Mothra was going to show up at some point. So when Godzilla attacked the facility, the guys set off a self-destruct sequence because they're like, we gotta kill Godzilla and eliminate all traces that we were here.
Yeah.
So they try to flee in the boat, but the islanders made a phony concoction of the spray, so Ebirah kills them because it's not the real stuff that keeps them away. Godzilla kills Ebirah, and then Godzilla goes to fight Mothra. Mothra takes the net and leaves, all while the self-destruct sequence is going off. Mm-hmm. So as they're leaving, they're yelling to Godzilla to leave the island, and Godzilla leaves of his own free will, jumps into the water, and right as he jumps into the water, the nuclear detonation of this island goes off and just completely obliterates the island, and it's gone. And Godzilla swims away, and everybody gets away.
Godzilla does one of the best cannonballs I've ever seen.
He does. He really does. And he,
Which I gotta only imagine that was one of the times where they had to pull him out of the water.
You know what? I think that's why he went in feet first. So, when he hit, he just goes under a little bit, but he, hit it so he could stand.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I'm sure they had, people right off screen where they jump in, get him, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Godzilla leaves.
I was kind of sad that there wasn't a payoff of the people getting to the Mothra Island. I can never remember names. Because, right? Rota, right?
Yeah.
Rota. His brother is on that other island, so we don't get a payoff of, them, reuniting or whatever, do we?
No, there is. Yeah, because Rota shows up from the weather balloon.
Oh, jeez.
And he shows up on the island, and he's like, where's my brother? And then his brother shows up, they reconnect, and then...
Well, I'm just a bumbling idiot and missed that, apparently.
Then they have to, get everyone, to get ready to go to, back to the... Or no, Rota and Yatta sail back to the island to tell everyone, hey, you got to build a net because Mothra's coming.
Oh, okay.
And then they're like, oh, okay. So, yeah.
I remember the balloon part. I just didn't remember.
Yeah, he just flies off on this balloon. And then, yeah.
Well, I apologize. I'm so bad at remembering crap from the...
It's all right.
But, yeah, overall, from what I can remember, I really did enjoy this one. I liked a lot of the battle sequences with Godzilla and Ebirah. And there was some shots which clearly I think the water was put in after it was shot. But there's underwater battles between.
Oh, I think the underwater battles are just shot with a filter.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It was either put in post production or it was just a whatever magical thing they do.
Yeah.
But I thought it was an interesting escape from the normal on land battles.
Yeah, it's cool to see those underwater battles. Which that's not the last of them.
Yeah,
we will get more underwater.
I really liked they had to change Godzilla's roar.
Oh,
Like it sounded different because it was underwater, and I just thought it was a nice change of pace.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. It was definitely a different direction to take it.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm always down for a different direction with Godzilla.
Yeah, because some of these can feel repetitive.
Oh yeah, yeah. Especially like, well, I mean, we'll get to a couple where it's just, it's almost like cookie cutter. You're like, wait a minute, wasn't this the last one?
I've been rather surprised with what is this 7 and 8, right?
7 and 8, yep.
I've been surprised so far, even with these ones. Like, there's only been one real stinker, like we said last time.
Yeah.
There, I thought there was going to be more bad ones than not good ones.
I don't even think that we reach like another like. Well, no, I'm speaking too soon. We're gonna reach another stinker.
But I forget. Do we rate them right now? Or
yeah. I think we rate them right now.
I couldn't remember if we did it right after or both of them at the end. But this one I'm gonna give 7 out of 10. I don't know if a Godzilla movie will reach a 10 out of 10 for me, but like 7's all around good. Like, it wasn't mind blowing or anything, obviously, but like I said, I like the battle scenes. This is another one where I, for the most part, thought I was pretty invested in the human side of things.
Yeah. I mean, they kind of drive the plot a little bit more than most other.
I like when the humans have something good to deal with. Well, not good, but something to battle themselves.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and give this one a 6.5. It's a fine movie. It's very fun. It has a lot of memorable moments. But, I mean, all around, it's a popcorn, hokey, giant monster movie.
Yeah.
It's very fun. Like I said, I'm never gonna say don't give it a watch.
Yeah.
Except for maybe Godzilla Raids again. But I'm never gonna say don't give it a watch. Give it a watch. It's a fun one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 6.5.
Absolutely fair enough.
This is just this one is
This one, I gotta say, so what really inspired this, I don't know if I said this on the podcast before, but I had watched the compilation of Cinemassacre review all of the Godzillas.
So have I.
So, like, that's where, like, some of my precursor knowledge comes from. And I just remember seeing clips of this one, and I was like, oh, dear God.
Yeah.
But, I gotta say, I mean, there was some...
No. It's not the worst.
No.
It's not the worst. Absolutely not. It is just one of the weaker ones.
Yeah.
But I understand what they were trying to do. The message behind the movie was clear. They were definitely trying to give more humanity to Godzilla as a character by giving him a baby to look after. No. I got no problem with that. It's just the movie isn't as engaging or action-packed. There's not knockdown, drag-out monster brawls like the other ones were. There's no point where there's a big bad that you're like cheer. It's almost like it's a filler episode for Godzilla. Is what it is. It's a filler episode. That's exactly what it is.
I can get behind that.
It's just a side episode where it's like, yeah, but did you know Godzilla has a son? And then it's like, oh, really? And then you start watching it, and
it looks nothing like him.
Yeah, it just looks like a Shrek baby without the ears.
Oh my God! So that
it does make some adorable little noises, though. It's squawking when it's first born, like when they're all like beating on it. I'm like, I feel bad for that little thing.
Yeah.
Oh, can we please, we'll go back and we'll talk about the plot. But can we please talk about the fact that baby Minya, the baby, does not abide by the laws of physics. He literally just slides back or forth. He doesn't move his limbs. He just is either being pulled or pushed by some unseen force.
Yeah.
That he just moves with such grace. Like he just glides across the ground and no one can explain that.
I mean, it's not we don't have actual kaiju, so who knows?
Yeah, exactly.
We'll leave it to that, right?
I guess, yeah. That's all we can do.
I was very much I don't know.
Underwhelmed.
Yeah, like I've real bad tendency of getting really tired while watching movies or playing video games. So I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like there were a lot of times I probably fell asleep during this, and I did almost immediately wake up and fight it. But there's a lot that I'm gonna forget about this one.
This one is. I remember a lot of it, but it's definitely one of those. You watch it because you have to, but then you're just kind of it's not nearly as good as.
I mean, what I remember seeing, which I think is most of it, it was fine. The mantises were creepy.
Terrifying.
Yeah, I don't know.
So
I forgot to mention about Ebirah, but I hate sea creatures.
Oh yeah, like crustaceans,
just anything sea related.
Oh,
I don't know why.
Wow. So you hate Jaws?
I've never watched Jaws.
Oh, well, you probably won't hate Jaws because that's universally
I don't specifically
loved.
hate sharks. Like sharks don't freak me out. But,
it's just
things like crabs,
sea crawly things.
Just anything with
Try eating them. You won't be afraid of them.
No, I've never ate them.
Crab is delicious. Oh, I love crab.
I saw a video of a starfish crawling on land with its little tentacles on the back of it. I'm like, nope.
See, I'm fascinated by sea creatures.
I mean, I guess it's interesting. But
it's phenomenal.
If I ever saw that in real life, I'd get that shit away from me.
Oh, see, when I was at the beach, there were dead horseshoe crabs everywhere.
Yeah.
And they're enormous. Horseshoe crabs are this big.
Yeah.
And they're just flipped over and they've been eaten by seagulls. And I'm huh, that's neat. I'm like, that is a weird ocean creature that crawled up here and made the mistake of crawling up here because now it's dead.
But there's a little back story into me, but mantises are I've seen a couple in real life,
Praying mantises are very rare to see, especially around here. But I have seen
I've seen a couple
of them. Yeah. I saw one at work 2 years ago, I think, or last year. It was crawling through at where I work, there's a big garage door, and then there's a man door. Well, it flew in through the man door, and it was just walking across the concrete in the back, and I was that's awesome. I was there's a praying mantis.
Yeah, I like seeing them. I don't mess with them because I've heard that they hurt, but
I think I put him on a piece of cardboard because I didn't want him in there because I thought the dog was gonna eat him.
Yeah.
So I was I need to get you outside where you're not gonna get killed.
Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah. Anyway. Back to Son of Godzilla.
It was interesting to see a kaiju mantis, or three of them rather.
And a giant kaiju spider.
Yeah, the spider. I just had flashbacks to Mandalorian. Is all that did for me.
Yeah.
Not the same kind of spider, obviously, but.
So, I just want to point out another thing of trivia here. Akira Kubo's character, Maki Goro. Maki Goro is a character in 3 Godzilla movies.
Oh.
This one, The Return of Godzilla, and Shin Godzilla.
Oh.
He's the guy who owned the boat.
Okay.
That they find the boat at the very beginning of the movie in Shin Godzilla. I gotta rewatch Shin Godzilla. But they find him at the very beginning of... they find that he committed suicide at the beginning of Shin Godzilla. Is it not
the same guy, though?
No.
Okay.
No. It's just the same name that they've used for that character. But yeah, he plays a reporter in this who like paratroops into the island.
Mm-hmm.
He gets dropped off by like the UN or whatever, and he wants to write a story about the experiment, what's going on the island, and all that. And this team of scientists are all there doing a weather experiment, which we find out works at the end of the movie. But this movie is just kind of it's kind of like The Thing. Everybody's on this island alone. Everybody's going stir crazy. There's monsters outside. Then there's a radioactive storm and the monsters become even bigger. Like the mantises are like human sized. Like they're human like height, which is interesting in itself. And at one point the guy says he's like, well, I want to see what's interesting going on this island. And one of the guys is like, there's nothing interesting on this island. And I'm like, really? I'm like, the 6 foot tall praying mantis is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I'm like, that seems like it's some sort of feat of science or whatever.
That would be terrifying in itself.
Yeah. And so a radioactive storm happens, and then the monsters become bigger. These giant mantises start breaking open like a hill that has a big egg in it, and for like 2 days, because I was thinking about this again when I watched the movie, it was 2 days that these mantises were all just like cracking away at this egg that they finally got to crack open, and then Minya is born out of it, and they're like beating the hell out of Minya, and then they're gonna try to eat it, and Godzilla shows up and saves the day, kills one of them. The other two fly away, and then Godzilla puts Minya on his tail, and they go away. And then a couple more months pass, and Minya gets bigger. He can walk on 2 legs. And this is where I start to get fuzzy, because like I know what happens, but I'm like,
yeah,
like sort of blanking on it. Like I
mean, this one.
The team of scientists they're trying to get off the island now, because they're like, all right, this has gone far enough. This is getting crazy. And then the girl that they find on the island, Psycho, she was like, or there was something about that they said there was a boat that went missing, and the little girl was never found, but the mom and dad, she's basically Tarzan. She's Tarzan. Like, her parents end up like getting killed. Yeah. Because of a storm, and she survives on the island, and she like grows up on the island and all that. So, but they talk to her, and she tells them like, oh, there's a giant spider that sleeps wherever. Like, in order to get to this cave or whatever, you have to go past the giant spider. And they're like, yo, what? And then like it just evolves from there, because then the spider awakens, and those are some terrifying images. Yeah, you want to talk about like your fear of crustaceans? No, Kumanga is equally terrifying. Like all the scenes when they're in the caves and the giant like claw comes in through the cave to like grab them. I'm like, nope. I'm like, get that away from me right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like terrified of actual spiders. No, I mean, you'll never catch me with like a daddy long leg in my hand or some crap like that. But as far as like normal spiders, I don't care. But like, you make them big. Can we talk about the web?
Like, oh yeah, it just looks like party streamers.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, I get it. I don't want to pick on it too much, but.
And the only thing that can break the web is heat. So he has like a pocket lighter that he keeps like burning it away with.
I mean, fire will weaken it before like probably cutting it at that size would.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, probably not that easily.
No.
The amount that Kumanga was spraying was not equal to what they were throwing at them, but because they would just be instantly covered and they would not be able to move.
No. No, he was like spraying like a lot of web.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is a cool one as far as like the Godzilla on an Island movies go. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's some interesting insect kaiju and all that. But like, yeah, like I'm just like drawing a blank on what happens to the team, like what they're attempting to do.
Yeah, I don't know what the team does.
and I just watched this last night,
Yeah.
and I'm still just kind of like I don't even remember what happened. But like, there are a lot of good scenes of Godzilla teaching Minya how to breathe fire and all that.
See, that's the stuff that I'm remembering.
Yeah,
I'm not remembering anything about.
No, I remember everything about like the kaiju fights.
Yeah.
Not what they did. The only thing that I remember they did is at the very end, they set up the weather balloon to go up to a certain height, and then it explodes, releasing all this gas to create a snowstorm, in which they literally freeze this island as they're escaping.
Pretty fast.
Yeah, like within like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And Godzilla and Minya are buried up to their waists in snow.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's like it's like 50 feet of snow, like within 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a lot of snow.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, that's about.
And Minya keeps falling in the snow. That was.
Oh yeah.
That was kind of adorable.
Yeah. Yeah, and it makes me wonder, like.
I thought he was gonna die.
Well, it says that Godzilla and Minya begin to hibernate
as
they wait for the island to become.
The humans
again.
say that because I think it was Seiko says to somebody else, I don't know who, you know, like, oh, they gonna die or whatever. Like they were on the, what were they on? Were they on the weather balloon, or what were they flying away on, or something?
No, they were like on a raft.
Oh, they were on a ship.
Yeah.
Thing.
Because then a sub shows up to. Like,
right.
them.
Yeah, the sub. Anyway, she says, you know, oh, are they gonna die? And the one guy says, no, they're just gonna hibernate.
Yeah, I mean they're cold-blooded.
Yeah.
Reptiles, so I mean they could hibernate in the cold. But I mean it's still kind of a sad image.
Yeah.
Of Godzilla just like hugging his son as they're both freezing.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna die.
Yeah.
Just because he was basically a youngling, for lack of a better term.
Yeah. Yeah, it's but I mean, that's about all
I don't like his design.
Minya's?
Yeah.
Not a lot of people do.
I mean, nobody probably does, but the concept of him is okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with
because I went in thinking this is gonna be stupid.
And it is, but
it's
not as stupid as it could have been.
No. I would say that I will probably revisit this at some point because clearly I was checked out for a lot of it, but
I'm sure a lot of people are checked out of it by a certain time.
Interesting fact, I was looking, 3 different people have
played Godzilla in that movie.
Yeah.
Hiroshi Sakita played Ebirah in the last movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I don't know.
Seiji Onaka and Haruo Nakajima. And
that's just a fun name.
Marchan the dwarf as
Marchan. That's funny.
That is funny.
I didn't really think it was a kid, so I figured it was probably a dwarf. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, that was quick to talk about that one.
Yeah, there's not a lot to say about that one.
There isn't. It's not the worst, but there isn't a whole lot to say. It's Godzilla being a dad.
Because like you said, there isn't like a lot of battle scenes, so like
no,
we can't really talk about that.
It's more of you have to pay attention to the humans that further the plot, but at the same time, it's like,
yeah,
it's like I really don't care about what they're doing.
Yeah, it's just some shitty people making fake storms.
Yeah, I mean, like it's fine. It's fine. It's just not
people to do that. Just go watch that Disney movie where the girls find the weather machine.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's fine. It's just not.
I forget what that's even called.
It's not the best, you know. I just was like, whatever.
So I'll jump in and I'll probably give this one. It's gonna sound kind of low, but I'm gonna say 4 out of 10.
I'm gonna give it a 5. 5 out of 10.
That's where I was gonna go, but then I was like, I don't know.
It's a fun one. It's like I said, it's not the most engaging. It's just it's just there.
I forget what I give Raids again. I don't want it to be lower than that, so I I don't remember what I gave Raids again.
Oh, I can't remember what either of us gave Raids again.
But so don't destroy me in the comments, because I definitely like this better than Rage Again. So
Well, yeah.
I just can't remember what I gave it.
I mean, it's easy to like this more than Raids Again. I would have to revisit Raids Again and maybe pay more attention. I don't know. Maybe it's better. Maybe it's better than I remember. I don't know.
I mean, there's at least battles, I guess.
Yeah.
But I forget what is coming up.
The next one is Destroy All Monsters and Godzilla's Revenge.
All right.
I'm pretty excited for Destroy All Monsters.
So I'm pretty sure up until here, I think, is where HBO Max has them.
Okay, good. Well, then we'll have to watch all the Heisei and Millennium Era.
Yeah, I think this
Yeah,
is...
because Return of Godzilla isn't going to be on anything.
Yeah.
I'm kind of shocked that Godzilla vs. Biollante isn't on HBO Max because that was an HBO VHS release. So I don't know why that was not...
Yeah, it seems like they just have the rights to the show era.
Yeah, that's weird.
But anyway, so next time we'll talk about Destroy All Monsters and All Monsters Attack. Thanks for stopping in, and we'll catch you next time.
Yes, we will.